Hey guys, JFuel Gamer here, and today we're doing part 4 of What If Izuku was Isekai to Ruby. But before we start, I just want to say, if you guys are like, why are you doing a part 4 already? I don't know. For some reason, I was just like laying on my bed, just really reading. And then for some reason, there's like something possessed me, and I was like, you know what? I'll do a part 4. It was like that random burst of like inspiration, you know? I'm like, you know what? Part 4 it is. I'm like, what the hell is happening now that I'm doing this what if? It's weird. It's like that weird little, like how you get that random like burst of determination or like like confidence or like, it's like that inspiration and then instantly it's gone. But for some reason it's like it happened before. I'm like, it wasn't like that like of a strong sense of like inspiration or determination to do it. It was like eh. But now it's like I have to do it. It's weird. I don't know why, but anyways, yes. And for some reason, I just got ideas for it, like out of nowhere. I'm like, let's do it. Anyways, let's continue. Last time, where Ruby, Eri, Izuku, and Yang, with of course Vomit Boy, which is what Eri is calling, with sorry, no, Ruby is calling John Vomit Boy, with Eri confusing, Vomit Boy, pretty much like doing the cute little thing with like her fingers on her a finger on her cheek, like looking confused and like with of course it being adorable with Ying saying, she's like just thinking saying, God, I think gods, I think you have created something that is beyond this world, something too cute. Of course, she's gonna be the doting, really protective doting aunt. And hell, she might even train her to like learn how to fight. Which part? Actually, I'm thinking of doing that maybe later down the line of the what if. But anyway, let's continue. Well, of course, the Vomit Boy finishes returning his food to the rightful owner, or not really. But anyways, he's like, "Thanks, man." Pretty much doing like a very weak thumbs up. Izuku saying, "No problem. Here." Pretty much just gives him some water. With him saying, "Where did you?" Izuku just points with like a vending machine down there. With him saying, "Oh, understood." And basically just drinks the whole water and feeling a bit better. With of course Ruby saying, "So, Vomit Boy, why the weak stomach?" With him saying, "Vomit Boy?" With of course Ruby saying, "Yep, I'm calling you Vomit Boy from now since you vomited." Of course, being that bubbly personality, with Izuku saying, "Ruby, be nice." With Ruby saying, "But I don't know his name." With Izuku saying, "That's why you should always uh, say your name first, so they can say their name next." With basically Izuku saying, pretty much just sighs and says, "My name is Izuku Midoriya. This here is Ruby Rose, and the one she's holding is my daughter, Eri Rose Midoriya Rose." With of course the Vomit Boy says, "Daughter, Ruby Rose, Eri Midoriya Rose. Did you, Izuku?" And before even he could continue, Izuku saying, "Adopted, adopted." With John saying, "Understand. Okay, now that makes sense." With then him saying, "Oh, John Ark, nice to meet you." With basically Izuku saying, "Nice to meet you too." Pretty much just pulls out puts out his hand, and John just shakes it. With then Ruby notices his weapon, which is, is that your weapon? With basically him just looking at him saying, "Yeah," and pretty much pulls out a sword, just a regular sword, nothing much. With her saying, "Okay, why do you have a sword? Just a regular sword." With him saying, it's a bit of a hand-me-down. My great great grandfather used it during the war." With Ruby just saying, "Oh, there's nothing better than the classics." With Izuku saying, "I agree, really. Besides, do you know what your semblance is?" With John saying, well," and before anything could happen, luckily, like the world was like giving him like helping him out. For some reason, basically a whole bunch of people or students, for the matter, pretty much just ran past them while carrying John away. With John yelling out saying, "See you guys at the hall!" Like while far away. With basically Izuku saying, "Okay." With Ruby saying, "That was really weird." With Eri saying, Mr. Weird Vomit Boy. With of course Izuku and Ruby just chuckle with Izuku saying, "Eri, be nice. His name isn't Vomit Boy." With Eri confused saying, "It isn't Papa?" With such a cute way, with like those adorable ruby eyes, with pretty much like it's like you cannot hate or like be mad at her, like no matter what. She's like an angel that even the angels from heaven will envy her amount of cuteness. You know that much. With Yang saying, "Well, even though I would like to get some answers from you," pretty much is giving Izuku the death stare. But then looking at Eri saying, "Even though, and I would like to meet my little niece," pretty much is like pinching like the little cheeks besides her like mouth. With of course Eri just kind of like just saying, "That hurts," like cutely, like waving her hands wildly. With out of nowhere, for some reason, Yang like feels like she's in danger, and she looks up, and this is a sight she never knew she would see in her life. Remember, like I said, that Ruby is a bit overprotective? Yeah. You can see why, because Izuku told uh, the life Eri had, and, yeah. Basically, this, like, dangerous aura is coming off of Ruby with pretty much, like, a sweet smile that even Yang thought was too sweet, and she's like, "By the brothers, what happened when I was gone?" With basically Yang saying, "You know what?" And she looks behind her saying, "Oh, look, my friends are there. I'm gonna go. See ya. Goodbye. Take care." And basically runs off as canon, but basically for different situations. With, of course, Izuku saying, "Hey, Ruby." With Ruby saying, "What? I'm trying to save my daughter from her aunt's evil clutches. Is that so wrong?" With Izuku saying, "Yes and no." First, she was trying to be nice to Aries, and she does. Second, she was just playing with her in her own way. Even though I haven't met her, I know her personality type. Ruby confusing. What do you mean by that? Of course, Izuku saying, "Let's just walk and I'll tell you." And of course, Ruby let Eri walk while her holding both Izuku and her hand. Of course, without Ruby pretty much like focusing where she was walking towards. Basically, she pretty much slipped. Before even she did, Izuku says, "Ruby, you may want to watch out where you're," and that's when pretty much she fell down on luggage. And Izuku says, finished it with going. And of course, Izuku pulls out, pretty much puts out his hand saying, "Are you okay, Ruby?" With Ruby pretty much just looks up, and it's like, and for some reason, water from the fountain exploded upward, and the sun made rainbows over his head, which made it look like he was an angel sent from heaven. I know, I forced that to happen. But anyways, let's continue. With then basically, of course, a voice saying, "You are." I forgot what ways. I'm just gonna say ways. If you guys don't like it the way I pronounce it, sorry. But ways pretty much says, I don't remember what she said in the episode, but I remember it was something about like you have to be careful of where you're going and something like that. And of course, she turned around to Izuku to even tell him something like saying, "And you have to make sure where she's going." And her voice kind of died down a bit because when she looked at him, kind of the effect was still happening, and she's thinking saying, "Gods, where did this handsome man come from?" Basically, kind of like that. So yes, basically, Waze kind of fell for Izuku, dead, like head over heels for him. So yeah, And of course, Waze kind of dropped the. Well, not Waze actually. There was like a bit of dust that pretty much went towards somewhere another direction. And basically, Izuku just says, "Oh, I'll go get that." Of course, Waze was still looking at the direction, just like, "Oh, sorry, I did not notice that." Just like still daydreaming. And basically, Ruby was like confused, and she's just looking at Waze saying, "What the hell just happened?" Like just blinking. With Aries saying, "Mama, who's this Ice Queen?" Not sorry, no, not Ice Queen. Actually, no. Who's this pretty lady? Actually, yeah, Aerie would say pretty lady. With instantly Waze just hearing pretty lady, and instantly she was like, "Oh, that's so sweet, little." And she said, and then of course she like had to pedal it back, saying, "Hold up, what?" And she just said, like saying, "What, Mama?" Pretty much just blinking, and then looking at Aerie, then looking at, at Ruby, and pretty much back and forth, saying, "You're too young to have a daughter." Ruby saying, "Adopted." With we're saying, "Still though, you're too young to be a mother." With Ruby saying, "Well, technically, she isn't adopted by me. She just decided to want me. She kind of wanted me to just be her mother, really. More like a mother figure, but yeah." With, of course, what are you saying? Then who's the father that adopted her? Basically, Eri just says, "That's Papa over there." And basically, uh, she sees Izuku walking off to pick up the jar that's still, for some reason, still just rolling down. With Izuku saying, "What's happening here? For some reason, I feel like something's off, and for some reason, I feel like there's something that might go down bad down the line." And oh boy, was he not? Was he not right? Was he right about that? And not for the reasons you think. But anyways, even if I think I know what you're thinking, if you think you think. But anyways. Let's continue. With them pretty much just stopping at the side of someone's boot. With basically that person picking it up, with them saying Wei Shni from like pretty much the eras of a company, yada yada yada, same as canon. And also about saying the morally gray area that their company are at. With Wei's pretty much noticeably mostly by Izuku, she was uncomfortable about it. But then she pretty much had to pedal it back a bit because of what Aries said. Wait, you're her father? With pretty much Wei's just pointing back at Aerie being carried by Ruby, basically, and Ruby pretty much just walking towards them. With Izuku saying, yeah, she's my adopted daughter. Why? You got a problem with that?" With, of course, Wei's kind of like has a pretty much has a crush on Izuku. Says, no, I don't. It's just, well, how do I say this? Izuku just blandly says, "Surprising." With wasting, well, yes, and it's that. Izuku saying, don't worry about it, really. It's none of your, it shouldn't be any of your business. Don't take it the wrong way, please. That's the kindest way I could say it, but yeah. There was some things that were happening, and I took her in. Simple as that. Of course, Wei was kind of hurt the way he said it, but she understood that it was no malice towards her about it. Blake just hearing this saying, "Sorry, so what now?" Of course, just like being confused and out of the loop with these saying, no worry, no problem about it. What's your name?" Of course, Blake just still looking at the book saying, "Blake Belladonna." With Izuku saying, "Izuku Midoriya." Of course, there was this awkward silence between the two. With Izuku saying, "Well, hope you have a great day." Of course, he walks off with Ruby and Eri on tow, with Waze pretty much just looking at the back. Oh, Izuku's back, with Blake just noticing the way that Waze is like looking at Izuku, with her saying, "Dear God, this is like my books." Huh. If I remember correctly, there was one of my favorites that had a harem in it. What was it called? I'll think about it later. But dear God, this is gonna be interesting to see from the sidelines. But basically, yes, she's gonna be kind of like the shipper for now. That is, wink, wink, nudge, nudge. Anyways, let's continue. With then basically everything said the same thing. Eri just looking at him saying, pretty much like when everyone left, Eri just says, "Look, did you see? It was Grandpa." Of course, Izuku saying, "Yes, but remember, Eri, what do you call him when we were at school?" With her saying, "Mr. Wobbly," and she of course like says it wrongly because of course innocent children, they're too much for this earth. But anyways, they deserve better for the earth. But anyways, with Ruby just thinking, by the gods, I'm going to die by her cuteness. With Izuku pretty much just thinking the same. Well, then basically they go to the lockers with pretty much, of course, for like the, of course, no, wait, sorry, hold up, wait, back it up. Ugh, redo. I forgot about the sleeping thing. So basically, yeah, everything's same as canon, but for Izuku, it's a bit different. He just wears a long sleeve shirt and also some like sweatpants. Of course, some girls were shocked because the guy was built. He was like pretty muscular. He's not like bulky. He's like pretty much lean, basically. And the thing is that the shirt that he was wearing was not hiding much. Some girls were just staring. Some were just trying to steal glances. Hell, even Waze was looking at him. Of course, Ari was like behind him with such an adorable outfit, with pretty much just being cat ears, a pajama that has cat ears. And not just that, it was pretty much white. It was adorably white cat ear, like pajama with cat ears with a little tail in the back. With so many people just look at her and they're like, "Ugh!" It's like a steak. It's like a not like a steak. It's like a spear where through their hearts. That was like, "Ugh, God, I don't think I might be able to live for tomorrow." Hell, even Izuku kind of got hit pretty much because she was next to him, and she was too cute. With basically one thing, why is she wearing cat pajamas? With basically everything, cats are cute and they're my favorite. With of course, um, Blake's bow twitch, and you see why, and she kind of just like blushes a little bit, not noticeable to anyone. With basically Yang just goes like pretty much whispers next to Ruby saying, "Sis, I don't know how you did it, but you just got yourself a catch. Aren't you lucky?" With Ruby saying, it's not like that. We're just taking care of Eri. It's not like we're actually dating." Basically, of course, like hushed and like it's like a bit of a like loud whisper, not enough for people to hear, but for some people like very close. And some hearing this, they thought they would have a shot, with some being bold enough to walk up to him. With something in like Ruby kinda made her mad. Not actually, no, scratch that. Kinda is not what it says here. Very, no, not even very can make this description well. It's basically how an anime about how a wife tells her husband, like when she's angry, you know, like the malicious aura with the sweetest smile you can think of. And basically, that's how it happened with some of them. Of course, the girl that was going after Izuku. Ooh, did she not like? Did she have nightmares for that? Hoo. She's gonna need a psychologist. But anyways, yes, of course, Izuku is confusing. Why did she do that? Of course, I'm confused, not guessing, not understanding why. Of course, because you know, dense protagonists and stuff. You know how the protagonists are. But anyway, of course, Waze. Part of Waze was terrified that that's how one of her classmates are, and pretty protective about her quote unquote husband or boyfriend, really. And pretty much, Eri was like hiding behind Izuku and pretty much shaking, saying, "Mommy's scary." With instantly like a bit of like cute anime tears. Not like she was she was like teary eyed. You know, like how cute teary eyed anime kids can be. Basically like that. With Ruby's like, no, 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 I'm sorry, Ari, I'm sorry. Pretty much just like telling her, like saying sorry, sorry, I didn't mean to scare you. It's just that bad lady was gonna do something bad to your papa. With then instantly, of course, Ari says, "You promise?" Pretty much in like such a cute pout that it's like it can hit. It's like if you were if you can like no one can like look away. It's like too cute. Some people had to like block their eyes or look away. It's like too cute. No, stop it, please. It's like to the point you can. It's like you feel like you're gonna get diabetes. Basically like that. But anyways, with done with the dark humor jokes. Anyways, let's continue. So basically, of course, like basically people were like getting and like we're just like saying, how can this be? Her cuteness level is over 9,000 or something like that. Jokes aside, but basically people were like just thinking of like cute names for her. Maybe they were even one person saying, "That's the angel. That's the angel. That it right here." Like just someone called out an angel, with people just thinking that suits her. Of course, Ari not being comfortable in large crowds and also loud people. Izuku just be having such a death glare that it's like hell, like even like it's almost like dear God, it's like hell can freeze just by a stare. With Izuku saying, "You're too loud," instantly just gives them the death stare, like an enormous amount like of the death stare, not like bloodlust or anything, but like a death stare that made everyone silent, with everyone just going to sleep instantly. And something in Ruby just made her blush for some reason. She doesn't know why, but yet, for some reason, the way he did that, she thought, the only thing that went through her mind saying, "Oh my God, that just made him look hot." With even Yang thinking that, saying, "I'm so jealous of this now." With, of course, Wei saying, "What?" Pretty much Wei saying, "Why does she have to be lucky?" Blake saying, "Now this is getting interesting." Basically, yeah. With then pretty much the next day, everything kind of goes the same as canon, but Aries being taken care of by Good Witch. With basically Good Witch just kind of like off to the side playing with Aerie, like lifting some toys with her, like to her, like with like some dolls, like making them move and play and like pretending like they're talking like, oh blah blah blah, you know. And of course Aries like doing the smile that even the sun would be jealous of, like dear God. And out of nowhere, for some reason, both Ozpin and Goodwitch had sunglasses to cover their eyes. With basically everyone's like blind, saying, with one just yelling, "I'm blind, my eyes!" With someone even yelling, "How can something this cute exist?" With basically because of the sun's reflection on the way that Aries smiled, some felt like they would lose their eyesight. Some were like, "I may die happily now. I have no regrets." Basically saying, "Gods, you may take me now." Basically like that. With Izuku pretty much just having sunglasses with him at all times, saying, "Thank goodness I prepared." With for some reason Ruby saying, I think I'm blind now." Izuku, did you bring sunglasses?" With Izuku saying, so that's what I felt like. Why I forgot for some reason. With basically Yang just having sunglasses on too late, and she's like, oh God, I didn't know that something this cute could exist. Of course, everyone kind of liked that. In a few minutes, just a few minutes, they pretty much healed because of, Aura. With Ruby saying, "Okay, I can see again." Even though it was worth it, I would not like that. With basically looking at both pretty much how adorable Aerie is, just like chasing around the dolls. Hell, even Osmond was kind of distracted too, because how adorable it is, and reminds him the reason why he's fighting. So basically, yeah. With basically everything goes the same as canon, pretty much being launched off with pretty much about the same explanation, is that if you see someone like uh, pretty much like eye to eye, that's your partner for pretty much the next 4 years. Yada yada yada. You get the idea. Pretty much same thing, but with a little bit of an extra thought on Ruby's point of view. Basically, when she landed, she's like, got pretty much the same thing about gotta find Yang, gotta find Yang, gotta find Yang, gotta find Yang. But then she pretty much goes through the same thoughts about John, Blake. But then she goes to Izuku, and she just like is like daydreaming, kind of like that, with her saying, oh, "What about Izuku? He's nice. He's positive. He's cool, cute. That beautiful, that amazing smile that makes him look handsome like the shining sun. And that those amazing green or emerald eyes." And she's like, "Oh my god, I fell for him, didn't I?" With basically, yes. For some reason, I felt like adding this because it felt very. For some reason, it felt like Ruby-like. For some reason, I don't know why. It just felt Ruby-like. That she would like when she's like thinking about someone, then instantly realizes like what's happening and stuff. I think I haven't like watched full. I'm still kind of at like 4 basically. So yeah. Anyways, let's continue with her pretty much still saying, I already fell for Izuku. Oh my god, I can't believe this. But then she's like, wait, doesn't that mean we're an actual couple? Of course, her blushing, not like paying attention in front of her, and then just putting both her hands like on her face, saying, oh god, that means I am a mother. But then she's just thinking, actually, I always been like that, I guess, with Aerie. I don't mind really being a mom to Aerie. She's too cute. Like, basically, like, just thinking. And then, of course, she bumped into someone. And then she looked up and then saw Waze. She's like, oh no. It's because she remembers like, what she did for, like, Waze and the accident about the exploding dust. So, yeah. By accident, when Waze wanted to talk to her about, like, being irresponsible and stuff. Like, so, yeah. And, of course, Waze was like, why her of all people? She walks away, basically same thing as for John. Basically that. And, yeah. And, let's go to the statue part, where basically Izuku is there just alone. And he was about to go, too, until he heard saying, out of the way! With Izuku saying, huh? And he looks around saying, where did that... And instantly he looks up saying, watch out! And he sees Ruby dropping down, with Izuku just saying, oh no. And it was too late for him to move. And basically, Ruby fell on top of him. And oh my god, I was like, for some reason, I was thinking of a moment for both of them like this. There will be more moments like this, but don't worry, there's a few things that will happen first. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. Basically, Ruby fell on him, over him, and basically, she's like, ow. With Izuku saying, are you okay? With Ruby saying, yeah, I am. I just, when she opened her eyes looked straight at green, and basically, like, emerald green, and basically Izuku's looked at silver. And, Izuku was like, Rose, can you please move your hand? And, let's just say, she was touching somewhere 16-year-old shouldn't be touching. Yeah, wink, wink, nudge, nudge. That's all the hint I'm gonna give. And she was surprised of what he was holding. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. Yes, I was waiting for a moment like this at one point. Really, that's like what I got from like inspiration and stuff. So yeah. And of course, Izuku saying, Rose, can you please not to be rude, but can you with Rose, of course, like bumbling, like, oh, yeah, 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 I will, and of course, quickly got up with her semblance, with basically just like twirling her hair like out of embarrassment and stuff like that, saying, "I'm sorry about that." Pretty much like not trying to look at him because she's too embarrassed of that. And her literal face was more red than Pyra's whole hair. That's saying something. So yeah, basically the same thing as canon happens with, of course, Izuku using his sword to be able to cut down, like to at least cover for some of the people. Let's just say for like some of them. Luckily, he was able to also tell them, saying, for example, saying, "Ruby, wait, I need both of your help." With both of them saying, what is it?" Izuku saying, "I got a plan." Of course, instead of Ruby coming up with a plan, he basically kind of came up with the idea of the slingshot. With then basically Izuku telling Nora to like with saying, "Nora," pretty much pointing at the scorpion saying, "Smash." With Nora just kind of like laughing, saying, "Yeah, hammer time." Basically like that. And I don't know if I got the character right, but screw it. With basically then same thing as canon, but instead Izuku switches his regular sword into a scythe with basically the barrel. I don't know how to think, but basically the barrel, not the barrel. Never mind. But basically the same thing as scythe. And Izuku was running up there, like for somehow is able to run up there, up the cliff, and basically Izuku and Rose basically run up the cliff and decapitate it. Yep. Not gonna overthink things or not gonna and just making it simple at this point. With of course there were a few traces of lightning coming from the cut. With with the roses, and the roses were kind of like emitting like a red, like not like a red energy, pretty much were like turning, like some of them were turning like greenish and had a bit of a lightning conductive like going through it, you know. Of course no one noticing this, not even Izuku and Rose, basically just focusing, like just looking at what they were able to do, and they were amazed and happy, with basically Ruby just running up to him, hugging him, saying, "We did it, we did it, we were able to defeat," I forgot what it was called, but basically yeah, that. And basically, Ospen and Goodwich were surprised with Eri just saying, "Yeah, Mama and Papa did it." Pretty much is like jumping up and down, like on her toes, like very happy. How every child, like how like how happy every child can be, you know. With then basically skip a bit later, pretty much to the ceremony. Basically the same thing as canon, everything. And some people were confused with pretty much basically Izuku, but then pretty much instantly the professor uh Os was it, I for some reason I forgot his name. I think it was Osbin. Yeah, Osbin says, "And for Izuku Midoriya, please come up here." With then pretty much saying, "You shall be the overlooker for both Team Ruby and Team Juniper. Thank you very much. You may all leave." Some people were shocked, some people were amazed, some people were surprised, some people were even jealous or angry, really. Both teams were like, "What?" Confused with, even Izuku saying, "What?" But anyways, yeah. Then we go, I think this is like a bit ahead, but this is basically, I think I'm going a bit ahead, but I kind of want to skip all the way to the library scene, really. Like to where they play games and stuff in the library. But I don't know if it's I forgot if it was like two ahead of the whole entire thing or two behind. You know what I mean? But I think it's a bit. I don't know. Actually, either way, let's just say it's a bit early. But basically, they were able to kind of do their things and for like their rooms and stuff. And basically, same thing as canon, with Izuku just living like between the two like rooms. And basically, there's like there's like the doors weren't like in were not in basically different. Basically, it was inside the room. Like technically, there was three doors. One for out going to the hallway. One for going to the Team Ruby's and and then the other going to Team Juniper's room. Well, basically, Izuku had like a room to like a whole entire room, like almost like living in an apartment complex, basically, on his own. And yeah. Anyways, Izuku just pretty much getting everything ready, and the only thing he has is like his shoe, like his like the clothes he has with him. Of course, he doesn't say this to anyone else, but basically, Eri just kind of is getting new clothes out of nowhere with Izuku saying, "How is she?" Basically, then hearing a knock, with Izuku going towards it saying, hello." Well, then saying, Goodwitch saying, oh, Miss Goodwitch, what are you doing here? With Goodwitch saying, ah, Izuku, it's good to see you. Actually, and pretty much gives him something, a wallet. He was confusing, huh? With basically saying, Mr. Austin, Professor, uh, Principal Osman told me to give you this. Izuku saying, thank you? And then instantly she's left saying, well, have a good day now. Or good afternoon. But see you tomorrow. Basically, going off, pretty much just whatever, she do whatever. With Ben, basically, uh, Izuku just hears a whistle, like the next morning. With Ben basically really saying, wake up everyone! Of course, it was on. Luckily, Team Juniper did not hear this. But unluckily for them, that pretty much gave Eri a bit of not basically PTSD for something in her past. But yeah. Anyways, Izuku pretty much kicked down the door without even knowing what he was wearing. All the girls look at him. Hell, Ruby like basically Yang nosebleeds, Wei's nosebleeds, Ruby has a nosebleed with basically Blake just trying to hide her nosebleed. What is Izuku saying? Shut up. You scared Eri. And then just went back with everyone just like looking at the door saying, what just happened? With Yang saying, I think I've been blessed. With Wei saying, just pretty much in her mind, just dancing and like freaking out, saying, I saw him, I saw him without a shirt, I saw him without a shirt, he had amazing abs, basically like that. Ruby saying, I knew he exercised, but by the gods, I did not know he was that hot. And basically Blake saying, things are getting too interesting. I need to try to hold myself back. Because I would want to ship all these three together. Basically steals glances from all three of them. And basically notices that they all had the same reaction. Except for, Yang, of course. Not being, she is, she is, drooling, you know? She is drooling for what she saw. But then, instantly something, of course, caught Ruby's ear, saying, wait, I scared Ruby? Ruby, I scared Eri? No, not again! Instantly, she ran towards the door, saying, Eri, I'm so sorry, I'm so sorry. Basically, and basically says, Mama's sorry, she just wanted to wake her team up and wanted to be responsible of teamwork. Basically, just, waving her arms, all around, worried and crazy and stuff. And, oh, sorry. With basically Eri still teary-eyed, saying, it's okay, Mama, you did it by accident. With basically Eri just looking at her with, such a cute, her eyes are still teary-eyed, but, and she still looks cute, even sad, you know? With Ruby just hugging her, and just, they're both, she's, rubbing her face, all over, Eri just kissing her, saying, "I'm so sorry, Eri. I promise I won't do that again." And basically, yeah, that happened. Then they go to class with Eri just being next to Izuku just while eating. Of course, the teachers didn't mind this, and sometimes they even let Eri just like try to look and see what to learn. Of course, Eri being a child, she doesn't know much, and the teachers like try to. And actually, one of the teachers even wanted to let her learn how to read and write, which was simple. And it was Doctor Oobleck who was like, "Well, child, I would like you to read and write, please." Basically, just kindly and like says, and basically just like write the letters down and stuff like that. Of course, some of the students were surprised. Even some of the third years, because he was like talking like very slowly and like kindly, not cold hearted or like like you mean, like just like being like not what I mean like by cold hearted, but like more like curious. It's like a curious, I think. I don't know, but basically, yeah. Of course, both Izuku and not Eri, Ruby, I think we just found a babysitter. But of course, when Eri finished, like writing down the letters, even though the letters were not as good, with Oobleck just clapping, like saying, "Congratulations, you did a good job," pretty much like giving her thumbs up and like a really nice smile, and then he goes like to his desk and just brings out a lollipop, with Eri saying, "What's that?" And basically says, "Oh, this is a lollipop. This is candy." With Izuku saying, "Oh dear gods, no." Even Ruby's like, "Oh gods, please." But it was too late. He basically Oobleck just gave Eri the candy, and Eri just put the pop. Pretty much just took the lollipop, and when she pretty much ate the lollipop, by the gods, she was literally all fast, if like pretty like a bit faster, if not just as fast as Oobleck when he was drinking coffee. With pretty much all the kids look at Oobleck, mostly both Ruby and Izuku look at Oobleck like, why have you done this to us? Oobleck just looks at them apologetically saying, "My apologies. It was supposed to be a good gesture. I didn't know she would get a lot of sugar just by one lollipop. It was all innocent, I promise." Of course, everything else went fine while Eri just pretty much had a sugar crash and fell asleep next to pretty much on Izuku. She looked extremely adorable, and people were like, and of course, people were just like saying, looking at Izuku saying how lucky he has like a cute daughter and stuff like that. Like not in like the wrong like jealous type of way. They were just like saying, looking at him like saying, he's lucky to have a daughter like her. Like like compliments in a way. So yeah, that's cleared up. Basically, the next part, I don't remember what the next part was. I think it was lunch. I don't remember. It's just that I keep forgetting. Sometimes I remember what the whole entire thing is. It's just that I sometimes like forget like bits and pieces, you know. But basically, I'm just going to the library part. Pretty much about the whole game. Eri being taught how to read by Pyra actually. With basically uh with Rose, Waze, Blake, I don't like I said I don't remember everything. Let's just say right now is like early-ish, like before everything, because I actually have an idea that came up to me. It was like, hey, why don't I add this into the what if, because it's something that not happens, but like basically sounds interesting to add. And basically, and you guys might be thinking, what is it, Joy Boy? What is it? Please tell us. Not yet. You'll see right now. So please understand, this is just like a bit of a. It's not actually like I don't remember if it was like later on or before, but let's just say this right for now. It's before. Like everything went downhill. But basically, yeah, library. Pretty much they're playing games and stuff like that. Pretty much like the board game. Izuku looking at it, he's like, And he said it out loud, saying, "This reminds me of a game back at home." And of course, he has like a sad smile, and of course, all the girls look at him, saying, "Oh, and what was it called? We might be able to find it." With Izuku just chuckling, saying, "Oh, I said that out loud, but." Izuku saying, no, not really. I don't think you'll be able to find it here in Remnant." And let's just say this game doesn't exist on Remnant. I don't know if it does or does not, but it's a bit different. But anyways, let's continue. With basically Izuku saying, but anyways, the game was called Dungeons and Dragons. Actually, it was pretty fun back then. And then he looks down, and of course is saddened by it. But then all the girls, like I said, remember, let's just pretend D&D does not exist here. Let's just pretend, please. But basically, Izuku and Rose was like, "How do you play that?" With Izuku saying, "Oh, yeah, sorry, I forget that it's mostly exclusive where I come from." With Ruby saying, "Oh, so can we go visit there one day?" And of course, Izuku is saddened, like he's saddened by this, and of course, he thinks that he thinks that, and of course, all of them look at him like saddened because he knows that it's like he has like a saddened face on him. So he says, well, I don't think we can." With Ruby and everyone else saying, "Why?" Of course, Izuku said, "Damn it! I thought they wouldn't push it, but still, I have to make up a lie." And then he thought of saying, "Oh, okay, got it." With Izuku saying, "Well, me and Eri are the last survivors of where we come from, because it's it's pretty much ran over, not overruled. What was it? Oh, it's like there's like influx of Grim that took over the island. I was lucky enough to escape, but yeah, of course he hates himself for lying, but yeah." And basically, everyone just doesn't push it, luckily. But basically, Ruby continues saying, "But how do you play it?" With basically Izuku just explaining the rules, and just to be honest, I have never played D&D, but I think it's interesting, and it might be fun. I heard about from some people I know that it's pretty fun to play, but yeah, it's just like kind of slow in the beginning, you know? But basically, yeah, he just told everyone how to play it, like how you can play it, how it works, basically all the systems and stuff, blah, blah, like yada yada yada. With Wei saying, "Actually, that sounds pretty interesting." With then Ruby saying, game of math, ugh." With Izuku saying, "Not just that, really. You can play other characters too. If you can even create some characters like a machine too, but that depends on the setting of the whole entire story." Ruby saying, "Ooh, and what is that? What was one of the characters you played?" And this is just like a made up character I just thought of right now. And pretty much, Izuku saying, "Well, if you must know, I played a character that I made actually with some of my friends that sadly passed." But anyways, uh, his name was Damien the half breed. With of course all of them confusing half breed. Oh, I know, no, no. Okay, pretty much some of them like understood, and basically Izuku explained to them like about like the backstory, saying like of of a half demon, half human hybrid. With pretty much shocked and pretty much loving the story, and how ironic it is that a demon is pretty much being taken care of by nuns in a house of like one of their gods, basically of like health and fortune, and basically luck as well. Let's just imagine here, please. This is just like a fake character I just thought of, and basically they just called him Damien. They called him Damien Asqual, with pretty much Ruby saying Azual, with Wei saying Asqual. It's a very unique name though. With Izuku saying, "Yeah, I thought of it on the fly, really." But basically, yeah. And basically explained of the adventure that they went through. Of course, in the beginning, it was a bit boring, but then it went through amazing adventures, basically, in the story, about how they defeated a dragon, but mostly they were able to befriend it, how they were able to kill, like, what do you call those, necromancers? I think, yeah. Basically, a necromancer that was on a high level that nearly killed everyone. Hell, and then fought. a Medusa, basically like telling the stories of like attacking, like going on islands, saving like nobles, nearly becoming legends in that story, and basically about the group that they all had. One pretty much was not so smart. Another being being like a bit too religious, and another just being someone that just likes to throw fists, but is also someone that is a bit of a bandit. He's just very sneaky and likes to throw fists all the time. With basically him saying that his character though was a bit of the inventor, really. Yes, yes, of course, like he explained that like when he was praying to God, of course, he got hurt a bit because, praying and demons or devils do not, don't really aren't able to connect so well. Of course, they understood, and pretty much he explained that instead of just by praying, he decided to invent, and sometimes he was able to become an alchemist, a bit of an inventor, and also he is a bit of a doctor. So basically, he was able to revolutionize medicine, inventions, and stuff like that. I don't know if this is how it works, but if I'm wrong, sorry about that, but this is just my imagination. With basically all of them being intrigued, and then like at the end he tells them about the biggest twist of all that everyone has heard. He is not just Damien isn't just any ordinary demon. He is the son of the Demon King. That of course forced himself upon a woman, which was his mother. Of course, Damien, being shocked and crushed by this, never knew that his father was such a vile and despicable being the Demon King of all people, of all beings, really. But of course, Ruby, Yang, and the others were like basically shocked. They were like, "No!" Like, and even Blake's like, "Oh my god, this is such a good book. This is too entertaining to let up." Basically, they had a blast on like her hearing about it, but then they were saddened that, of course, Damien sacrificed himself for the greater good. Of course, one of his lovers, he was supposed to be lover, or technically, the one of the characters fell in love with Damien basically through his kindness and everything. Of course, they were to call him back, but with a price. Instantly, everyone in the group had a bad feeling. With then Izuku saying he was revived, but there was the item that was used to revive people said that it revives the people that you want the most, yet they are not recognizable through their soul is now tainted through black magic. So he became the Demon King itself then and there. Of course, Ruby and the others were like, "No, gods, please, no." With Waze just like crying, saying, "By the gods, why are you doing this? These emotions, the agony." With Ruby just saying, "Hug me." With pretty much just like saying, "It'll be fine. We'll be able to save him somehow." With Waze just saying, "Shut up, don't hug me." And of course, she just still hugs Ruby. Of course, Izuku says, "Sadly, there was no happy ending. They defeated him, but at what cost?" With everyone saying, "No! Why have you forsaken Damien? He was such a nice demon," Ruby says. With basically Izuku saying, "But that's not all." Everyone's shocked, saying, "What happened?" Instantly, Nora's like shaking him, saying, "Tell us what happened next! Tell us! We need to know what happened to Damien!" With Izuku just saying, "I'll tell you if you stop shaking me." But of course, Ren stops Nora, saying, "Nora, please, you're gonna make him dizzy." So yes, hold up. And basically, he says that how the god that was not pretty much that he wasn't able to contact as much wasn't able to contact through, through his prayers, but yet he still prayed, was able to contact him in his flight, and it was able to be was being prayed by the people he went like pretty much adventured with, and through the luck of the draw, he answered with basically all of them saying, "Then what?" Basically, both Waze and Ruby are holding hands, like nervous, it's like it's like something that's the biggest secret or something, being almost getting told or something, and basically, John, John, and like everyone was like interested in the whole story. With Ari also, basically he says, the God has gave him another chance to live, even permitting him to have a family, on one condition though. Everyone's happy about it. Then instantly Yang saying, what's the condition? Like in a very needing to know tone, with basically saying his family becomes the guardians, or the heroes, you can say, to when once another demon king rises, they shall be the ones first placed, first to answer the call. Of course, they will be in the front lines, but not alone. If that is granted, then they then they may live a happy life and contain memories of what happiness they will get down the road. Of course, he agreed. Basically, everything went down. He got married with the love of his life. Everything went happy. You get the idea. With everyone just like, they're like, if pretty much Blake saying, "Wow," basically saying everyone's thoughts in one word. Of course, they all thought it was boring in the beginning, but then all that happened. They're like, "Dear God." With pretty much Ruby saying, "So can we play this game?" With Izuku saying, "Oh, sorry." With Izuku saying, yeah, well, but first there's planning involved. Of course, and also you also kind of need to draw too, and kind of create your character and strengths and stuff. I'm just gonna go get some stuff to prepare for it for like what, next weekend. With basically everyone shakes their head in agreement. With Izuku saying, "Okay then, see you next weekend then," and that's where we're gonna leave it off. Hope you guys enjoyed. Have a good day, good afternoon, wherever y'all are. Take care. Bye.